Hi, I'm Dr. Ashley Holcomb, and today we're going to talk about how Christians can benefit from mindfulness. I'm focusing on this in particular because mindfulness and meditation have become so popular in mental health treatment and as a part of the larger cultural conversation around mental health and self care. But I've seen Christians sometimes shy away from it a little bit. And I think there's concern that meditation is connected to Eastern traditions or New Age traditions. But I want to bust this myth a little bit because there's actually a really long history of Christian mindfulness meditation. And I want to talk a little bit about how you can gain from the advantages of mindfulness while also growing in your spirituality. And I'm going to post a companion video to this one of me leading you through a Christian mindfulness exercise. Before we begin, let's clarify some language, because you've probably heard terms like mindfulness, mindfulness meditation, and meditation. Mindfulness is the concept, and mindfulness meditation is the meditation based on that concept. There are other types of meditation based on other concepts or other religious backgrounds. This idea actually really matters to help us see why mindfulness meditation is not incongruent with the Christian faith. Let's start with this idea that meditation is solely a New Age or Eastern tradition. Yes, New Age and Eastern traditions do use mindfulness. And yes, when psychology was first looking into mindfulness meditation, it borrowed a lot from Eastern traditions and New Age traditions. But Christianity also has a long history of mindfulness meditation and other spiritual practices that are pretty similar. Way back in the 3rd century AD, there were these men and women called the Desert Elders, and they were renowned figures of wisdom. People would come from all around to ask them to talk to God for them, ask them about their spiritual problems. And they practiced a very, very spiritual element of the Christian faith. There's a number of books written about them that I have found very personally spiritually edifying, and I'll include some of those titles in the information for this video. Before we look at the spiritual practices that are similar to mindfulness meditation, let's talk scientifically for a moment about what mindfulness does for your brain and what the actual purpose of mindfulness is. Though mindfulness meditation can be relaxing, its primary purpose is actually to help you develop the ability to focus your attention on something without judging it. Mindfulness helps us experience things as they are, not as we are perceiving them to be based on our inner dialogue and our experiences. Mindfulness is almost like lifting weights for your brain. It leads to strengthening parts of the brain that have to do with attention and concentration, and it also strengthens your ability to respond to things instead of reacting to them. Mindfulness does this by actually helping your brain slow down how fast it gets emotional. You can see how this skill would be pretty helpful for all kinds of people of all ages. Most of us wish we could pay better attention, and most of us wish that we were less reactive to the things that bother us. You can also see how this would be helpful in bettering some of your skills for your spiritual growth, to be able to be more focused in your time with God, or be able to better slow your mind down and decide, God, how do you want me to respond to this situation instead of just reacting to it? So as we think about Christian spiritual practices that help us quiet the mind, focus our attention on what is true without our own evaluations, we can think of a few that fit the bill. Anything that helps us practice the presence of God, like worship or prayer, is mindful. And there are specific types of prayer, like breath prayer, centering prayer, or contemplative prayer, that use many of these same skills. There are also some good Christian mindfulness apps, like Abide, Soul Time, and Hope. There are some ways that mindfulness meditation may differ from spiritual Christian practices. So, for example, it might ask you to watch your thoughts go by or pay attention to how your body feels. But my hope is that after listening to this video, if you have any concerns about mindfulness, you might feel more comfortable with the science part behind it and see its potential benefits to your mental and spiritual health, and that for some of the ones that are a little bit more purely meditation, right, focusing on our body or focusing on our thoughts, that wouldn't feel as uncomfortable as it might have before you watched this video. So today we covered the Christian tradition of meditation, some of the science behind why meditation works, and some of the spiritual practices from the Christian tradition that are similar to mindfulness meditation. Make sure to check out the description of this video. I'm going to have some book titles about the desert elders, and I'm also going to include a book on spiritual disciplines, which inspired portions of this video and includes a lot of different types of prayer and spiritual practices in it. Also, be sure to watch the companion video to this one, in which I will actually walk you through a Christian mindfulness exercise. Don't forget to click below to subscribe and to check out my other content.